What is up, Planeswalkers? Theorix6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena, and today we are going to be doing some sweet mill. Now you might be a little concerned, Justin. Theorix, you say? It says Turbo Fog on the front. I thought we all hate that deck, that Nexus Teferi nonsense. Well, this isn't Nexus Teferi, darn it. This is real Turbo Fog. This is mill. With technically, there should be more fog effects, but I do want most of the thing to be mill. If you want, you can go more of a fog route, but real Turbo Fog utilizes things like Rites of Flourishing to essentially make it so your opponent just draws too many cards, and they can't do anything with it, because you just keep fogging them or countering their spells. This deck kind of plays off of that by running some sweet fog effects, just a couple, and then, you know, the obvious Fraying Sanity, Psychic Corrosion, Pinch Rebuilding type things. We're running none of these, and you might be concerned why. Essentially, the reason we're not running these is because we're not doing turbo mill. We want to have a bit of fog. We want to have a bit more control elements. We're not trying to aggressively mill our opponents. We are trying to passively mill our opponents. So we're not going to be running any Minister of Inquiries. If you want to be more aggressive with your milling, absolutely run this card. We are running 2 Sealaways as just an early game removal. Essentially, we just don't want to die. It's pretty much it. That's why we're running this card. It's real good. 2 Search for Azcanta. Finally crafted this darn card. It fixes our draws, and we can start looking for non-creatures, which is essentially everything in this deck. We're not running a single creature, so we can start looking for anything that we need. A Fumigate, a Pinch Rebuilding, even if we just need to draw more cards, right? So Search for Azcanta is just a pretty good early game card. Winds of Rebuke is very similar to Seal Away, except it also has the sweet milling aspect. It does mill us as well, but who cares, essentially? It just buys us some time, especially on a larger creature. So if your opponent plays something that costs 5 mana, and they use their entire turn to do that, and it doesn't have an ETB, we're able to just play this card, get some nice kind of pseudo-tempo on them, and force them to play it again next turn. So running 4 Haze of Pollens and 2 Root Snares. This is because Haze of Pollen we can cycle, like in control matchups, where we're not going to need to prevent combat damage, at least for the most part. We'll be able to cycle this and draw a card, which also triggers Fraying Sanity. No, triggers Psychic Corrosion, which is cool. But yeah, these are fog effects. Obviously, these aren't like the best fogs that are possible. I actually play Turbo Fog in Pauper. Like actual Pauper, not this iteration of Pauper. And it's fun but stupid, and it kind of sucks because mono black is just destroys the deck, sadly. But yeah, so that's some nice fog effects. 3 Disallows, because when we're going up against some certain cards, we just need them to not resolve. Cards like Hazaret, cards like Scarab God. I swear, in every DeckTech I talk about those cards. Speaking of which, I need to remember to say this before I do DeckTechs. If you don't like the DeckTech, I have all of the matches in the description below with timestamps, so you can go skip to those. Totally fine. Yeah, but I feel like in all of my DeckTechs, I talk about freaking Hazaret and Scarab God because I hate those. I don't hate them. I actually do like the gods. I think I've liked like all of the iterations of the gods that Wizards has done so far. But they're just strong, right? They're demonstrably strong. But Disallow also helps it so that we can like counter Teferis and things. We're running 3 Disallows and then 2 Syncopates. It's like just barely enough to like run our like quote unquote Turbo Fog opponent out of threats. Hopefully, if they're only running 3 Teferis and a couple Karns. But that matchup is not great, so we're hoping that we just dodge it based on our deck's power level. 1 Divination, sometimes you just need to draw more cards. It also, fun fact, works really well with Psychic Corrosion, because we'll be drawing 2 cards, and we'll be milling our opponent for 4. So, it's just nice to have. 3 Fraying Sanities. The reason we're not running 4 is because, essentially, we don't want to see it too often, because we do need to actually get the ball rolling, and having too many of these in our, like, drawn throughout a game is often just bad, because it means we're not drawing survival cards, or we're not drawing, like, mill them cards, so... it is, in general, like, a really important card to have, though. I should also mention, it's not just if it was milled. If we play Fraying Sanity and then we Fumigate, like, 5 creature tokens, they mill 5 cards, we gain 5 life, and they lose their board. So, it's important to mention. Psychic Corrosion is, like, the bread and butter of this deck, or the meat and potatoes, however you'd like to say it. we passively mill our opponent. That's pretty much it. The more of these you have out, the better it is, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's also great with the cycles, right? Because we can cycle a card, and then it acts as draw. I actually won a game against an opponent. I had 2 Psychic Corrosions out. I cycled a land. I cycled a farmland into a cast out, which I also cycled. And since I had 2 of these out, I milled them for what, 8? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I milled them for 8. So they had 8 cards left in the library, and I passed the turn, and they died. So 3 cast outs, as I mentioned. The reason we're running this over Ixalan's Binding is essentially for the cycling. It answers any threat like Ixalan's Binding does. It loses the fact that Ixalan's Binding can make it so we don't have to deal with that threat again. But because of the cycling, we might be in situations where we need to get just that little bit more milling out of our Psychic Corrosion. So that's why we're running this instead. Glimmer of Genius, we need to draw cards. That's pretty much it. We need to make sure that we're drawing cards to trigger this. We need to make sure that we're drawing cards to have removal spells or fogs. So we just need to make sure that we are consistently drawing cards. Fumigate. Sometimes they just have too many things, and those things need to die. So Fumigate is what does that. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill things with indestructible, like Hazoret. It's not a permanent answer to things like Scarab God, but it'll usually buy you time. Don't worry about like casting this on a board of like 2 or 3 creatures, just because all we need to do once we have a Psychic Corrosion or 2 and or Fraying Sanity is just bide as much time as possible, and sometimes you can just do the math, and a clock of getting rid of 2 creatures is plenty. Patient Rebuilding is like the big old bomb in the deck. We get to draw cards, which triggers our Psychic Corrosion. They mill, which triggers Fraying Sanity. Like, if we have Fraying Sanity, Psychic Corrosion, and Patient Rebuilding out, it is top-notch. I have no idea if my snaps actually got picked up. But yeah, Patient Rebuilding is really good to have. We're only running 2 because we do not at all want to run... we do not really want to see multiples of these in a single game. We want answers and threats. This is a threat, but yeah. And we definitely don't want to see this in our opening hand. We want this to like come out roughly turn 6 or 7, right? So, and then we're running 2 Syncopates just to exile those pesky cards like Teferi's, Nexus of Fates, things like that. So, and then our mana base, as I always say, could be better. We are running 4 Ipnu Rivulets, just a little bit more mill. We're running a couple farmlands, a Scattered Grove. I'm also running Hinterland Harbor. There might not be enough green. It's possible that the mana base should be different to like maximize the cycling lands. The problem then is like if you maximize your cycling lands, you're going to potentially be hurt against the fast aggro decks. Just because like you might like not have the mana to seal away something really important on 2 or something. But I would say if you have access to it and you want to build this deck, try and maximize on these, and probably don't run Sun Pale Groves. I'm not sure. So Glacial Fortress should definitely be the most, and these should be the least, just because you're really splashing. Arch of Orazca is just another draw thing. We're not going to hit City's Blessing very often, but when we do, we draw potentially more cards, so that against control we are able to get more and more of our quote-unquote threats, and it also triggers our Psychic Corrosion. No, our Fraying Sanity. And Field of Ruin is just to get rid of pesky lands. That's pretty much it. Compelling Argument. So there are a couple cards on the sideboard I want to discuss real quick. Compelling Argument is... That shouldn't be there. That shouldn't be there. Is another card if you want to make it super aggressive. Luckily, it does have cycling, so if for some reason you define something else, like a board wipe or something, it's totally fine for you to cycle this, and you'll still get value off of one of them. But I'm not doing Turbo Mill, so that's why I'm not running this. Then Millstone, again, I'm not doing Turbo Mill, so I didn't see the value in having this. It is a good card. If you're running actually a lot more control elements, then it switches into even more wanting to run Millstone, because you're going to be wanting to hold up mana for a lot of like one-on-one removal. So if this was just like essentially a blue-white control deck that happens to run some mill cards, then you're actually more likely to run Millstone, because then you're gonna like hold up counter spells. If they don't do anything, you just Millstone them, etc., etc. So with the exact position we're like not all the way mill, we're not all the way control, we're right in the middle, and that's where Millstone doesn't want to be. You could also run black for like Golden Demise and Yahenni's expertise, as well as getting things like Duress and stuff. That's absolutely legitimate if you don't want to run the fog route, or you can do like as many colors as you want. I don't care. Adding black is good. Adding red does essentially nothing. So let's get into some games. This deck is fun. It is not as fun as yesterday's deck. It is potentially very boring to watch, and I do apologize. Going up against Tarkin Love here. I'm not comfortable with that name for some reason. Today we have Pink Lemonade instead of Raspberry. Our opponent goes first. We have kind of an okay hand. It's not great, and the reason it's not great is because we do have fogs to just like sit there and do nothing until we get mana. But we don't have anything like proactive. That said, oh, and I should have showed the land count. We are running 24 lands. I'm going to move my mic back just a little bit because I feel like I'm too loud. That should be a little bit better. We have these. We have mana. We have glimmers. I'm going to keep this because we're going second. If I was going first, I wouldn't. Okay, so we did get something proactive. So it's not going to be as long before we're able to get down something. So let's see if our opponent has a mana dork on 2. And we got another land. Fantastic. So unfortunately, I feel like Big Green might still just be able to murder the crap out of me. Interesting. Okay. I was very confused. I was like, there's no way you're not playing something. Oh, so this isn't Big Green. This is Elves. Elves, I think I might be a little bit better against than Big Green. Got an Ipnu Rivulet. So I can hold up Disallow, but I don't think I need it just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just play the Psychic Corrosion. Like, we want this down as early as we can. Opponent has 5 cards. We have a couple things. We have some draw. We should be relatively okay, depending on how fast they can... Okay, that's a card I would have loved to get rid of. That is fine, though. Ooh, I got a Fraying Sanity. Let's see. 7, 9, So let's say I play Fraying Sanity here. They put 2 more lands in. This is 9, 10, 11. Oof. Potentially they play a land as well. It's 12. Then I would have to do this every turn. If I don't, the thing is, right, if I don't plan on using my fog at 18, I probably want to develop this anyway. Because what are they going to play that's bigger and scarier than Multani? I don't actually know. Okay, so they didn't lose. So yeah, they're a bunch of elves and a Multani. That's a relatively fast one, right? Not sure. Okay, 8, so it's going to be 10. Okay, I didn't consider that. That's fine. It's plus 4, so I'll be at 4. I can do math. I'm taking 14, so yeah, I'll be 4. Ouch. So yeah, I essentially have to fog like every turn now. Which is fine. Obviously I can get to a okay. I forgot that this triggers, so like it always stops on my draw step. But yeah, so here I will be able to disallow and still fog if there's something that I care about. Let's go ahead and look at our opponent's graveyard. Sure, I don't care if you draw cards. Blanchwood Armor, Prodigious Growth. Yeah, so this is just like big forest green, not like normal big green. But I'm gonna use Root Snare first. I think that's correct, leaving that behind. I am going to tap this for colorless though, and then tap this for white to Root Snare. Why did it do that? Oh, right, because I need green. I'm dumb. Well, I hope they don't counter. I hope they don't cast anything that I care about. That was an oops. Yep, I would have liked to counter that. Because I can just get rid of my Psychic. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. I guess I can disallow the trigger. Okay, that is helpful. Ugh. Because now I can potentially Glimmer and Haze, so pass the turn. A little under half. Alright. Green is not known for their burn. So we have to Haze here? Sure. Looks like he's probably going to use that. And I'm hoping my opponent does use it. Okay, good. Yeah, I needed them to use it before they ended their turn, because I would have wanted to Glimmer. Unfortunately, we need to keep drawing... sure, yeah, I don't care. At this point, I have to Fog every turn. I did some oopsies that made it so we're not in a great spot. I would love... That is not what I would have loved. I was going to say I would love to get a board wipe here. So let's play the islands, activate this, like the white and blue. Yeah, let's do it like that. Glimmer. Seal Away doesn't do it. Search doesn't do it. That doesn't help. That also doesn't help. Oh no, I'm dead. Oh, darn. The thing about this deck is that happens. Ah, crap. Darn. I probably could have played that better, and have been okay, but oh well. Let's go into another game. I'm super disappointed. Oh, going against Saminides? That's my guess. I'm disappointed about how Wizards decided to like show some cards from Guilds of Ravnica and then like wait until next Monday. Like, this week has been so painful. This is a much better hand, I think, because we can turn to this. We'll have this on 3. No, potentially not if we're going to turn to it. But still, I think this is probably a pretty fine hand. Let's see what our opponent's on. Green, they don't have a turn 1. So we can definitely hold up this on turn 3. So let us Scattered Groves first. Let's see if our opponent has a 2-drop. Alright, still green. Okay, I really don't want to see mono green again. This is actually better. Do the search and search. So we can start fixing our draws a little bit. See if our opponent has anything large and in charge. The thing is, as long as they don't have run us, like that last game, if I was able to draw one of my Fumigates, I would have pretty much been fine. They would have lost their entire board, and I think at that point they only had a couple cards in hand. So like, that would have been fine. Steel Leaf is okay. Let's keep that on top actually, because we can seal it away if we would like. The thing is, I'm going to hold up Disallow as well, just in case they do end up playing. So I think I would rather just like 1-for-1 seal away this. Oh, they're playing green-white. Okay. Sure. They could play like Shalai, and then I can just cast that out. So it looks like they're going to try to play a 5-drop, maybe? Alright, that gets sealed away. Let's see what they decide to play here. I can just cast it out. If it is something of large enough importance. Is it Vivian Reed? I did not expect that. Let me look at the card.
Every fight makes me stronger.
Huh. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can't help you now.
My opponent has 3 cards. I'll keep it on top. And I will just exile Vivian because she is going to give them card advantage, and I don't want that. Next turn I can play Farmland tapped, and then the following turn I can wipe their board, or I can just keep waiting a little bit and then wipe their board when they have a larger one. So opponent does only have 4 cards left in hand, as long as they don't have another value generation engine. That should be fine. Shalai? Don't care. I would like to just wipe this board. I think Fumigate on this board wouldn't be that bad. Fraying Sanity I cannot actually use yet, because my opponent would be able to... or my opponent has Hexproof right now. So I am actually going to just put that in the graveyard. Syncopate is good. So yeah, I will be able to Fumigate next turn. If I really have to, I'll Haze of Pollen. This is what, 8, 9? Land's not terrible. Let's see what my opponent would like to do. Yeah, that's fine. If I'm gonna Fumigate anyway, that's fine. Let's keep that on top. And let's get rid of this. And the reason we're keeping this on top is because we're going to be destroying this. We're going to gain some life back to 8. But our opponent could play something insidious, and we'll need to make sure we have something to deal with it. They also don't... okay. That's weird. Okay, shall I? So I can go ahead and cast that out. Let's graveyard that one. Cool. So let us... I guess we could do this at instant speed, but our opponent might have... Stop that. Our opponent might have like a Blossoming Defense, so I think I would like to just get rid of it now. And we do have the potential Syncopate, depending on what our opponent taps for. So if they play like land into Vivian Reed, that's kind of what we would want, just so we can absolutely get rid of it. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of that, but it is just a 1-mana dude. I have one. I don't think I'll need the second yet. That's unfortunate, but... So at this point, I should live through most things. I just need to draw an actual way to mill my opponent. Opponent is on 8 turns to kill me, and I have no current clock. Ow. That's a no from me. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Syncopate now. Well, so Syncopate is more flexible. Disallow hits more things, though, so I think I'm going to hit Syncopate.
It is not too late to change your mind.
I will go ahead and keep that, and this is going to be how I win. They don't have a big threat on board, so I'm not worried about Root Snare, or I'm not worried about fogging. My opponent could play the giant enchantment, and if they do, I'm just dead. But I really needed to get something down, so they only had 2 cards in hand, so essentially I was just kind of hoping. Block-Orm is fine. I would prefer to counter that, but That's the good stuff right there. Honestly, I'm going to keep it on the library. Because we do have a way to win now. We just need to make sure we don't die. So, we have 3 fogs. We have a seal away on this. We have 2 counter spells. Excuse me. So we are looking pretty good now. I bet all of you were thinking that I was going to lose this game, but no. We're in a pretty decent position, honestly. Obviously, we could still just die to the Llanowar Elves if he decided to attack us with it, and he didn't for some reason. Au revoir. And if this is something heinous, I can go ahead and counter it. So there is actually kind of an argument, since there's only 1 more card in his hand. There's an argument for countering that. Because it takes its clock from 7 turns to 4? I'll let it resolve, though. And that's why. Because it could have been a bait, and it was a bait. But you were the one who got you baited. And I do have a Fumigate, which I will probably use. I'll toss in the grave. I will transform. So I can Fumigate this, and I probably will. How much mana would I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have enough mana to disallow. So do I wait on a Fumigate? Honestly, I think I do. I think instead this turn I play Fraying. Yeah, sure. I think I play Fraying Sanity this turn. Take my 2 lumps, hold up a Disallow, and then if they just cast a creature that is not indestructible, I can just Fumigate on my turn. If they do cast a creature that's indestructible, I can go ahead and get rid of it. But I think we should be in a pretty safe position now. Now, this deck is slow, right? But it's also fair, because I'm not going to be looping freaking Nexus of Fates. That is fine, I don't care. Ow, how dare you, that hurts. Let's go ahead and use this. Let us get a Corrosion. I like to draw land, thank you. Yeah, look, another Disallow. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'll go ahead and Fumigate and stop with this. I'll go ahead and Fumigate and hold up Disallow, as opposed to playing a Psychic Corrosion. Just because I want to make sure I'm fine. Opponent could have been holding on to a threat and try to deploy 2 threats at once. But they do mill more because I destroyed those. So they could be trying to deploy 2 threats, but cool, I win. Oh, like the video is real. Like the game is real slow. I don't want like functionally 1 video in this, or 1 game. So I'm gonna play another one. This is gonna be a longer video. Oh well. Going up against Elite Monk, because Leech Speak is still cool apparently. He says it dehydrates. Opponent's going first, which is always bad for us. This is unfortunately not good. As we said, we don't really want this in our hand, so we functionally already have 6 cards, right? It looks like our opponent did keep. And we only have 2, so we're going to go on mulligan. This is a better hand. Yeah, full stop. This is a better hand. I don't think I want an early Pollen. Now, I want to make sure I hit my land drops into that and get a threat, so I don't think I want an early Pollen. Let's hope my opponent is not on something like Mono Red. Okay, possibly zombies. Not entirely sure just yet, but leading with this to make sure that we have untapped 2 mana next turn, so we can theoretically Winds of Rebuke if they play something super insidious. Let's see what flavor of black they're on. Alright, it seems to be of the mono... It is of the mono variety, most likely. Go ahead and play the farmland here. Yeah, we didn't need to do this. We can take the 3 lumps. We do have double Fumigate, which is fantastic for us. I assume that this is going to be a relatively aggressive deck. What I really don't want to see is a Heart of Kiran. Just because that's going to be something that we need to have one of our Seal Away or Cast Outs for. So, opponent sees that we're on Bant. They could duress me. Could blow up one of my lands. That is fine. Either way, I'd probably get a blue. I might get a green if they blow up Hinterland Harbor, I guess. I think I would rather they blow up Hinterland Harbor. But it looks like they might go for farmlands. Yep, they go for farmland. Okay. I think I'm actually going to get a white source just to make sure I have double white available to me. I can Wind of Rebuke, but it doesn't really do anything. I've already taken my lumps, so I'm just going to take my turn. Seal Away. Excuse me. Seal Away is pretty good. I could just Divination here. Divination's not terrible, but I don't technically need it since since I do have things. I could just Seal Away this. I don't have a counterspell, so kind of why not, I think. This is essentially permanently getting rid of that. Or are you gonna... I think he's gonna Fatal Push it. Yeah, he Fatal Pushed it. And that was, frankly, a pretty smart thing to do, right? This way, it's something he can at least get back. Yeah, so I think my opponent's pretty smart there. He probably realized that I'm not going to be running any, if many, creatures. Lord, sure. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Azcanta. And if I need to, I can Winds of Rebuke like that or something. But right now, only taking 2 damage is not really a problem, so. Death Baron, sure. So I'm probably just going to let that be. Take 3, hope I get a land with Search. And then just Fumigate. Yeah, I mean, that seems fine, I think. Right, it's not a very huge Fumigate. But it's like, fine. I think I should be a little bit more greedy with it, honestly. So I think I might just Divination here. And then Winds of Rebuke something. Yeah, I think I like that line better. And we did get a Root Snare, which is nice. I'll probably end up rebuking the Lord? I don't know. They're functionally the same, I think. Like, it for what I need. We had music. It is gone again. Did anyone notice the music just stopped? Doomfall. Well, that's incredibly rude. I assume my opponent's going to get rid of one of my Fumigates. Hello? Are you going to take my Fumigate? I assume that you are. I mean, now that they know about them, they're going to be able to play around it anyway. Yep, took a Fumigate. Makes sense. I'll take 2. That is fine. Search trigger. I'll drop it in the grave. I don't think I need it. Cool. So I can cast out something if I want to. Or I can cycle it. Could do plenty of things, but I'm currently not under too much threat. So I'm just going to play Lord again, I assume. If they play another Doomfall, that's going to suck. Like, a lot. So I hope they don't do that. That's fine. That's not what I wanted to do. Ah, it's spacebar. Okay. Sure. Do I fumigate it? Or do I cast out it? I feel like I might as well. No, they've shown Liliana's, and I think I need to save the cast out for those. So do I just take this and fumigate these? I guess? My opponent like has nothing. Okay, they have another land, so I will keep that on top. I will fumigate 3/6. I'm actually gonna put this down now. One, it'll potentially make them play more creatures, but also I have Root Snare as backup, so it's not too worrisome. Opponent could play Liliana, which would be very bad from here, but I did already mill one of them, and we're in the top like quarter of their deck, so it's unlikely they're going to have the second, especially because I assume they're not playing 4. So sure. Will I Root Snare 6 damage? Knowing that this is black, I actually am going to do this here. Because I know that black has drain effects, I want to make sure I don't like actually go that low. So. Sure, Camel is unfortunate. They know I have another Fumigate though. Okay, so yeah, I guess they made the decision not to. I think I'm actually going to keep this on top because I like know that I want to discard it, or I know that I can discard it essentially. Yeah. And sure, I'll transform it. And I'm going to Fumigate here. Yep. I will discard the Haze of Pollen. Resolve and discard. Gosh. Okay, we're not in a terrible spot, but we're not in a great one either. Yep, Scrounger up. Scrounger is going to be something that's going to be a little difficult to deal with unless I cast it out or seal away it. I mean, I'm not cycling that, essentially, so. See what they're doing. They have 4 cards. I think that they still know about this card. I'm pretty sure they still know it's a cast out, so. I probably will get rid of this. Yeah, I'll probably end up getting rid of this. An argument could be made to keep this on search for Azcanta, just because it fixes draws without using mana. Yeah, it's possible I should have done that, but I'll probably end up casting out this and using this. It all depends on what my opponent does. Death Baron, sure. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be casting that out now. Yes, that's fine. Only gonna take 3. I've never been a fan of this deck that uses Scrap Heap Scrounger. Got Root Snare. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go with Glimmer though. I don't know. It's kind of greedy going for Glimmer when Root Snare is guaranteed. see, 1, 2, only 2? That'd be the 3rd out of 6. I don't think I can be greedy here, unfortunately. I can do this main phase, though. Cancel. Can I tap mana? Don't do that. Why? Why? What the heck? I still have internet. Arena crashed, maybe? Oh, that's unsettling. Okay, there we go. That was really stupid, frankly. I don't think I need to do that. Yeah, I did. I'll take Disallow. I'll take Disallow essentially just to make sure that they don't land like a Liliana or something. I can just Root Snare here pretty easily. Non-creature you control dies. Well, I can't really have that resolve. Thing is, I gotta keep looking for things. Well, I'm dead. No! Dang it. This killed us. The Doomfall. The Doomfall absolutely destroyed us. That is unfortunate. Oh well. Things happen. It's still fun. I enjoy playing the deck. The only problem is like it's super slow. So if you're looking to like complete your quests quickly, it's not actually not great. If you're looking to like, oh no, excuse me, what? I already purchased this. I am certain I already purchased this. Interesting. Yeah. It's Omniscience. I know it's Omniscience. I maybe escape. Run in Mythics, apparently. We're on that Mythic counter, man. Okay, if this is another Mythic, utter madness. Darn, I really wish it was Mythic. Alright, well, I will say, we do have another patron. Thank you guys so much. Easy Mode, Chris, Dizzy Fam, Daniel, Flower Child, Chow083. I feel like I should like have like a picture of someone dabbing every time I say Dizzy Fam. I don't know why. Not saying anything against your name, but it just sounds like a dab name, you know? Anyway, I would like to thank all of you for being wonderful patrons. If you would like to join them in supporting the channel, supporting myself, you can find the link to the Patreon down below in the description. Hope you guys liked this kind of dumb deck. With that, we are going to be at the end of my first round, like my first large thing of viewer-submitted decks. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rotation with Katz and artifacts in the next couple days, and then it's going to be the finishing up of the new player experience decks. After that, I have no idea how close we're going to be to rotation, so I might just do like a bunch of wacky decks, like of my own creation. People seem to like the Planeswalker deck, so I might just do more decks of that vein where I just make stupid things. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, which I hope you did, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment to the comment section down below. And until next time, all will be one. I have no idea why I did that.